All right, so I wanted to elaborate on this practice called threading the 9-hole pearls. I have this written up in the book in a lot of detail, but I wanted to have a video for anybody who wants to learn it or people reading the book so they understand how to do this practice in an easy way. When you see opening moves in Tai Chi, often you'll see something along this lines, maybe slightly different variations of this movement. And it's a simple movement, but it's also a practice, a Qigong practice called threading the 9-hole pearls. And when you think of each joint, it's like a pearl, and we thread it. And what it means by threading is we move our mind and our breath and our awareness through the joints. So in this case, the first pearl is the toes, the ankles. There's the second pearl, the knees, the hips. And then they think of the hip as a pearl, as a joint, and think of the whole spine as a pearl. And then the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the fingers. So when we move up as we breathe, we're threading through the whole body. So this is a simple move, but there's always another layer to Qigong where you can go deeper. And it's a little tricky because there's a lot of internal things happening, but you don't want to overthink it because that detracts from your practice. You want to have simplicity and easy feeling. But as you get that, you can also start going deeper and moving your mind and awareness in your body along with the movements. So in threading the 9-hole pearls, we sink down, and as we rise, we breathe into the toes, the ankles, the knees, the hips, and as we rise up, the arms start coming up. Then the spine, we're drawing through every vertebrae one at a time. Then the shoulders, then the elbows, wrists, and fingers. So when we get to this risen point, the fingers are out straight. The weight shifts slightly to the ball of the feet. Then we do it in reverse. We're drawing the Qi, compacting it out through the fingers, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, down the spine, down the hip, down the knees, down the ankles. So you're moving through all the joints, you're threading. In the joints, blockages can happen, Qi blockages, which affect the meridians and the body organs. So the joints are very important to have open. So we're opening the joints. It's like an expanding feeling. We stretch up a little without pulling too tight. Shoulders come out, fingers come out straight at the risen point. Then we pull back in, like you're pulling in. And then you're pressing down, compacting, as if you're pushing through the body, and pushing and sinking. And then as we rise, we come straight up, we breathe in, feel as if a thread is pulling your head up. And the hands come out straight. And in, press down. Okay, so a lot of times we might think of sinking and rising as just bending the knees. But if you think of collapsing the abdomen inward, and that causes the hip to sort of bend and go down, it comes forward a little bit, not like so, but just straight down. And that changes the motion. When you rise, you press the feet and straighten the hip, and my back is straight. So if I were up against a wall, I would be able to go straight up and down. And that changes the movement of going up and down. That gets the flow of Qi going through the leg meridians. Okay, so you want the tailbone tucked in a little bit, chin tucked in, and as you rise, press down and feel as if a thread is drawing your head straight up. Feet are pressing down. Arms come up. Now as the arms rise, just like the knees, with the arms, we want to lift at the shoulder blade. That changes it. That opens up the arm so the Qi flow comes through. So if you try raising the arm instead of just raising it here, but raising it from the shoulder, it completely changes the feeling and the flow. And you can feel some of those meridian points, acupoints and meridians opening as you move the shoulders up. So try breathing in and expanding up, and then back. And as we go back, we start sinking down, pressing down to the toes. So when I was taught this, we would think of toes, ankles, knees, hips, spine, shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers. And it's a little hard to be thinking so much. That changes the form, because you don't want to be overly thinking, yet you want to put your mind in awareness to all the joints. So just feel the flow coming up from the earth, up through the feet, ankles, knees, hips, up the spine, up the shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers, and out the fingers. Then as you exhale, this is as you breathe in, as you exhale, pulling it in, sinking down. And just get this flowing movement, breathing in, rocking back to the heels, breathing out. Breathing in, shifting the weight. So we're shifting the weight a little bit forward and back because it's stimulating the bubbling spring, Yung Kwan point at the base of the ball of the foot, and then back to the heel. So you get that little movement in the feet. As you shift forward in this position, my toes grip into the ground. Okay? And that steadies my position. And I come in down. And then it's just a very relaxed flowing. Breathe in, breathe out. And toes, ankles, knees, hips, spine, shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers. And then reverse. So now think of breathing in through your feet, legs, up your torso, out your shoulders and fingers. And you want to just get that flow, threading the 9 hold pearls. You're threading. It's the same in every movement. We thread. We move the chi along in the arms, out to the fingers. So in this one, we breathe in. It's a training. And then breathe out, compact down from the shoulders, the spine, down the hips, down to the feet, down to the ground. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. So there's a reason why this is the opening move. Because it's to open the flow of chi. In a sense, we're inviting the chi in. We're breathing in. Drawing in the chi. Exhaling. Compacting it down to the feet. Up and down. Have the connection of the feet with the ground. Head with the sky. Yin yang. Heaven chi, earth chi. And when you go down, make sure the tailbone stays in. We don't want to go out. We want to keep it like straight. Okay? So keep the tailbone straight. Rise up. It's like stretching, kind of like an accordion. You're expanding, contracting, expanding. So we always have this yin, yang, contracting, expanding. Same thing with the rising. Breathe in. So the body becomes like an instrument, like a generator as it goes up and down. Generating energy. Negative, positive current, back and forth. And now think, breathing in through the toes. So your mind actually, you're not actually breathing in through your feet, right? You're breathing in, but when you think as if you're breathing in through your feet, your mind and awareness goes into your toes. And that actually brings blood flow and oxygen there. So it's like breath is actually coming in there. So we're breathing in as if we're coming through the toes. We're moving through, feel the bones in the feet. Then we're moving into the ankles. Then our awareness is in the ankles. And at the same time, as our mind is there, the movement is happening along with it. So we have breath, mind, and movement in synchronization in threading the 9 hold pearls. So we breathe in through the toes, the ankles. As we're breathing in, we're going up to the knees, up the thighs, and the whole hip, up the hip, and then the spine straightening out, like the vertebrae are straightening. A little bit of a pulling, and the shoulders are coming up at the same time, breathing in, and then to the fingers. So the awareness should be in your fingers, and then as you go back, wrists, elbows. Move from your wrists, elbows, shoulders, down the spine again, hips, knees, ankles, toes. Toes, ankles, knees, hips, spine, shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers. Fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders, spine, hips, knees, ankles, toes. So just kind of think it but feel it. Feel your toes, feel your ankles, feel your knees, feel your hips, your spine, shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers. And then get like a nice flow. So like in Tai Chi training, there's a lot of technicality and a lot of detail. And sometimes you're thinking so much that it could actually interfere with the practice. And if there's any tension or worry, and you want to have no tension and no mental or emotional tension when you're doing any practice. So you have to learn the details and then later, in a sense, forget them, even though you're aware of it. So you learn to move through those joints, but then your mind goes through it, but you're not thinking as much as you're sensing, breathing in. Meaning your mind, you have imagination, but the mind and the body are together in its awareness of the body. So when I think of the toes, I'm actually present in the toes. I'm actually having a physiological change there. Then when I move to the ankles, the chi moves. Breathe in, breathe out. So that's threading the 9 hold pearls. I hope you enjoyed.